What's going on, Tottenham community? My name is Leo Coys. I'm part of Colorado Spurs, and I'm still a diehard Tottenham Hotspur fan. Thank you guys for joining me on this episode number 28 that we're going to call the Factory Reset. It's been quite a few hectic games, and I have some special people that I want to discuss, just our recent run of form, our recent run of um, abysmal displays, um, not scoring in three games. It's unacceptable. Um, and as always, we want to hear your guys' opinions and what you guys think about this. So thank you guys for joining us. As you could see, I am hosting this show by myself today. Parker, we wish you good luck as you're probably on an airplane right now to the middle of the jungle in Mérida, Yucatan, Mexico. And bro, I hope you don't stick out too much like a sore thumb, bro. They're gonna eat you alive once they find out you're American. Let me just tell you that much, bro. But anyway, we miss you, buddy, and we hope that your trip goes safe and take a lot of pictures. Just exclude the banana hammock because we don't want to see that shit. Yeah, so let's get on with this show. Like I said, we have a few people that are going to be joining us today. We have two of them backstage. I'm just going to bring them both on at the same time. So I hope you guys are ready. Oh, I just want to say what's up to Brent from Colorado Spurs and my homie Paul. How you doing, you guys?
Yeah, man.
Good evening.
Happy.
Happy? How the hell are you happy?
You know,
I'm just kidding, brother. I just thought maybe you knew something I didn't know, but no, I get it, Paul. I get it, Paul. All bullshit aside, and bad what's the word, bad displays from our team. I mean, we're still living, right? We're still alive. We're still able to breathe. We're still able to converse with friends and just whether it's good bad chat, it's healthy for the body. So thank you guys for joining us.
thanks for asking, man. Pleasure.
Glad to be
The
here.
sun came up this morning. This beautiful day. Life goes on.
I guess I have to apologize. Parker's on his way to Portland, not Mexico. Mexico's next month.
You were
Well,
saying
still.
that. I thought he told me Portland the other day, so I wasn't sure.
I thought he was going to Mexico, bro. Here I am already getting him crucified by the Yucatan people, and he's not even going to Mexico yet. Big up to you, Parker. We miss you, buddy. Brent, my homie. So a frequent friend of mine that I see all the time at the pub, dude. I mean, it's been a tough 3 games in a row, man. How do you feel about that, bro? How is your state of energy? Of just how do you feel, bro? Knowing that like shit is easily going downhill at our club, dude.
I'd like to say that it gets easier the longer you've been a Spurs fan. Like you think like, oh, we've done this before, and we came out on the other end, and then things got better or whatever. But I don't know. Every time it's different in a little way, and I don't know. To me, this just feels like the manifestation of like what we've all been feeling like the last 2 or 3 months. Like something isn't right. The chemistry, something isn't right, and we've kind of like eked out some wins and eked out some results. And every time I look at the table, I'm like, how in the fuck are we still 4th or 5th or right in there? I mean, it doesn't feel like that kind of season at all. But yet, there we are, right there. And so, I don't know. This to me felt like the kind of the reckoning day of like, I had a friend say to me, and this is the way he put it, and I agree with it. This is who we are. Like this felt like, okay, this is what we've all felt like the team might be, despite what we've been seeing, and the chickens have come home to roost or whatever, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I kind of want to just ask you the same thing, bro. How are you feeling, bro? What type of energy do you have right now? Just considering shit's been going downhill.
I mean, not a lot for the team, really, or the manager, or the owners, or anyone. It's when I see a performance like that, and I think of people like Jack from Irish Hotspur flying over, and Dermot and David from Irish Hotspur flying over, and and all the people in England that have spent loads on tickets, made a chunk out of their day and evenings, and go to work the next day. And I don't buy this whole thing about players not playing for a manager. You okay, I get it. You're upset. Maybe you don't like the way things are going, but to play the way they have in the last 3 games is just ripping off fans, man. So if they don't give a fuck about me, well, why should I care, really? I'm kind of at that stage, There needs to be some huge changes at the club, really. Whatever that is. I mean, I don't know what that is, man, but something needs to, because you're professional athletes walking around the pitch. It's disgusting, really is.
And you kind of did touch on something that's kind of close to us here. We do have a couple of mates, a couple of friends that actually went out to London for this game,
no,
and for the Nottingham Forest game. And I'm pretty sure they went with all thoughts that they were going to see glory nights, under the lights there at Tottenham Stadium on a Wednesday, Champions League glory, and they went and saw that shit, and it's.
At least put a shift in, try. And if you lose, you lose. Sometimes, you don't win every game in football, obviously, but not trying to entertain the fans or do it. It's not on, man, not on.
Yeah, and Brent, like we kind of touched on, first Sheffield United, then Wolves, and now Milan. We're going 3 games in a row without a W, and we're going 3 games in a row without a goal. Is it over exaggerated to say that, like, bro, the wheels are falling off of this fucking bus, and something needs to give? Because I mean, Paul alluded to it too. Where is it that we start with all this? Sure, the players have to put in their shift. Management needs to. You're down a goal, and it seemed like we started that game defending like we were up a goal, and then to top it off, you take off Kulusevski and put on Davison Sanchez, which they also did in the game before at Wolves, right? We needed a goal, and I think they ended up. I think they put in Emerson that game. So it's just a line of just. And Conte is not the best at making substitutions. He's either going to wait until the last minute to put in a sub, or he's going to bring on an inadequate substitute. So I mean, Brent, are we in for a long run, bro? These last games that we have, knowing that who knows what's going to happen.
First of all, on the subbing thing, when we were at the pub yesterday, immediately you could tell going into half, I was like, something needs to change quickly. And I do not understand for the life of me, now that there's 5 substitutions, why you wouldn't do it sooner than later now. But in the old days, I get it. You have 3 subs, you have to worry about people getting hurt and keeping one of those subs around just in case. You have 5 subs now. Like, it clearly wasn't working, as it hasn't been working in the first half most of the season, it feels like. So why not, Perisic was looking bad. In all honesty, Kulu, that was one of his worst games I think I've seen him play yesterday. He was not sharp, I still leave him out there just because of who he is. But anyway, to get back to your question, like, I mean, I don't know. I know better than to get like 2 down, because, like, we've done it before. We'll lose 2 or 3 or look really bad, like right around this time of the season. I feel like it's usually like in late February or March. And then all of a sudden we kind of string something together, and there we are at the end, kind of in the same place we are. So I guess I'm still positive enough. But kind of like your episode title says with the factory reset, I mean, something's coming, because like this feels a little bit more like deeply rooted in like the identity of the team or the manager or ownership or whatever it is. Something isn't right. And I mean, there's a lot of things at stake right now for this to be happening right now, starting with, what's going to happen with Harry moving forward. Like, all this stuff might, these things are going to matter on whether he sticks around or not, most likely. So
I know. Well, before I ask the next guest this question, I have to bring him on. So whether he's ready or not. Here I come. You ready, my homie? Bring him on. We got to give him the proper bring it on like I did. Yes.
Hey,
We welcome the homie Jacob from United Spurs of America and officially from El Paso Spurs. What's going on to you, big homie?
Oh yeah, you see it. You see it. Come on now. Come on now. We're official. How are you all doing? Sorry I'm late. Sorry, I'm so sorry, Leo. I gave you my word that I would be here, but sometimes lateness is greatness. Hopefully
You're
I
right,
could
bro.
be
No
at
big
least
deal.
average.
we had to fill in for you, Jacob. Just talking, about nothing, waiting for you before we could get started. It was
Yeah.
Setting foundation. Yeah.
So,
Man. What's up,
well,
Leo? How you
Jacob,
doing?
good, bro. I'm doing good, bro. I, I mean, I'm as good as we could be, bro. You know what I mean?
Given the
It's not like we're
situation,
talking about, yeah, it's not like we're talking about next round Champions League, playing Blackburn in the next round of the FA Cup, smashing the Dama and the boys.
Blackburn at home. Blackburn
It's
at
the complete, yeah,
home.
it's the complete
That kills
opposite,
me,
bro. So,
bro. Oh
yeah,
my god, that kills me. Because I was listening to some bigger channels, and like the host is Man United. I'm not gonna shout them out. I'll just say at whoever the fuck. And like the host is a Manchester United supporter, and so like listening to him talk about being like, I'm falling in love with this football, and I'm getting behind Ten Hag, and I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. They've already won one trophy this season, and they're still in the race for another two. And they're saying the next season they're going to be in the race for all four. And to me, it's like watching just someone stronger, faster, better looking go home with the girl that you were talking to, and it's like, God, I mean, I know I didn't stand a chance, but she like looked at me at least, and so I thought I'd go holler at her, but instead, the stronger, faster, richer, better looking, better talker, all the everything.
yeah,
It's like
he
damn.
yeah,
fucked off
And
his
then
chair,
Chelsea, I
didn't
feel
he?
like Chelsea's going to be a problem. They're going to get their shit figured out. I think the win over Borussia Dortmund, I think that shit will propel them. To be a little bit
no, it's
better.
got
I
to.
don't think they're expecting to get Champions League next season, but I think they're just looking to improve game on game. The money they spent, the Enzo Fernandez is a quality player. Make what you will of Mudryk and all of his fucking social media antics. I mean, there's some funny shit going on, which I think is funny, which is cool. Hopefully he can fuck them up, but they've got pieces in place. United's got pieces in
Well,
place. Arsenal's top of the
Liverpool's
league,
catching us,
damn near
bro.
about to fucking win it.
Yeah,
Liverpool's catching
Liverpool's
up
right
on us.
behind.
They just put 7
Newcastle's
on
there.
United, a good United side. They just took the wind right out. When do we take the wind out of anybody? We're standing there with Fulham like, hey, come on, you still good? You still ready to keep fighting? I'll take it easy
Yeah,
on you. Make sure you're good to go. And that's what makes me mad is just I feel like after the Sheffield United loss, it's just been a compounding feeling. I didn't think we were going to win Milan, but I mean, Paul, I was talking to you before the match. I'm like, I've got a funky feeling, buddy. I've got this weird feeling we're going to go win because that's what fucking Spurs does to you.
Yeah,
And just it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much I hope, how much I look at the fucking Virgin and I pray to Jose and Jesus and all the fucking angels. I do all the shit. It don't matter because at the end of the day, Tottenham is cursed. Whatever has gone on in the pond is just cursed this club. And I walked on this boat. Honestly, I'm like, if you've ever seen Titanic, as an American fan, we are Leonardo DiCaprio winning a ticket right before the bus departs. We just got a ticket and we jumped on that bus, and guess what? Now we're gonna die in the fucking cold, freezing water. Sorry, that's a little bit of how I'm feeling.
yeah. Well, I think you actually even said it on your pop-up, bro. Masochist, you know what I mean? That's,
We
that's
we all
a
like
good
pain in
way
some
of
kind of
putting it.
way.
We just, yeah. Well, no, bro. Well, thanks for joining us, and thanks for that little mini rant. It's always appreciated. We have Bobby K saying what's up, calling you the toasty Texan.
I like that. The toasty Texan. Come on. It's
Let me
starting to
pop
warm
up
up over
again.
here too. I'm getting toasty.
The toasty
Both the
Texan.
Canadians checking in.
Yeah, for some reason my computer's a little behind. Good evening, you guys. I hope you're all doing well. Well, good evening to you, Scott M. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Don't worry, boys. Poch coming back. Levy getting him Bellingham, Guardiola, All Black, Madison, just in the first window, giving him 100 mil for the next 3 windows, guaranteed. We are set. Also, I got a giraffe. Ah, I bet you that
Yeah, me
giraffe eats
too.
a
And
lot of lettuce.
I got some oceanfront property for sale in Arizona, so you can come pick that up too.
Scott M says outside of Spurs, of course. And Scott M, good evening to you, sir. Well, good evening to both of you fellas in the chat. Yeah, so Brent, like we kind of were talking about, bro. You know, three games in a row without a goal, and we're supposed to have such a lethal, trio, um, you know, uh, quartet if you add in Richarlison, which
Quartet.
he did come out quartet, yeah, which he did come out with a nice, what is it called? A nice quote. I don't have it in front of me, but basically to
Richarlison,
just,
I'll pull it up. I'll pull up the
yeah.
translation.
Go ahead. So I mean, Brent, we have world class striker Harry Kane. We have Heung-min Son, who definitely is not in form, but still is renowned as world class player, and Kulusevski, who always puts in a shift. And we're still yet to score a goal in 3 games, bro. How can we go about fixing that?
Man, I mean, it's $1 million question, right? I have no idea. But I mean, what it goes to show is like, this time last year is when Kula's son and Kane were all firing off, even Kane, not so much. I mean, he wasn't playing poorly, but he was, pretty average for him. And then, like we get to this year, and I mean, we can't survive with both Son playing poorly, and let's be honest, Kulu hasn't been himself. I mean, he hasn't been terrible, but the last few weeks, I've kind of thought, is he a little bit hurt or something? He just hasn't looked the same to me. So you pair that with the fact that we're using a wingback system, where during the match yesterday, I'm watching and I'm like, well, it's definitely not going to work on the right side because Kulu is not sharp today. And then, obviously, I mean,
Hulu. That's what I've been calling him. Hulusevsky. Because who the fuck is that, Brent? Who the fuck's wearing number 21?
Ginger from Sweden. Yeah, and yesterday you could tell we were trying to go up that right side. It was never going to work in a million years because those guys weren't looking very sharp with their passing in. And then, I mean, Perisic is a legend, but he hasn't been playing well either. And it's not like him and Davies are going to be tearing shit up the left side. So I'm sitting there looking. I'm like, well, if we have both wings not playing well, and then we have the two guys that are supposed to be supporting Harry not playing well, we're dead in the fucking water. It's never going to happen. Like we can't survive. And then the fix for that is like, okay, well, let's bring on Richie, give Richie a shot. And has this quote which is hilarious and true. And but he hasn't been coming in and doing much either. So I mean, we just don't have anybody that's playing well right now. I don't know how we get through it.
Yeah, real quick, I do want to. I thought that this was. I didn't know he actually was recorded speaking like this. I thought maybe it was just like
it's in Portuguese.
He was talking to. No, that's fine. That's fine.
3-minute video right here.
So he actually was getting asked a couple of questions, huh?
Yeah. So, do you want me to read it? Or you want to read it?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
So basically, the Richarlison interview, full translation. The question was, I guess you're very frustrated right now, aren't you? Richarlison, of course, we just got knocked out of the biggest competition of all. We can't be playing like that when we need a goal. I think we should have put the team forward, especially in the second half. There's not much else to say, really. Not time to keep searching for the guilty ones. Now we got to go back to training tomorrow and prepare for Nottingham Forest. Then he asks, so do you feel like he, being Conte, should have brought you on earlier and maybe even put you in the starting 11? Do you think you're lacking sequences as a starter in this team? Richarlison says, that's what I also didn't understand. I played 2 good games in the wins versus West Ham and Chelsea, and suddenly I was dropped to the bench again and against Wolves, and I only played 5 minutes. I asked them why, and they didn't say anything. Yesterday, they sent me to the gym for some tests. They told me that depending on the results, I was going to start today, but then they put me on the bench. there are things I do not understand, and they didn't really explain to me why. This is really crucial shit right there that I just said, that they didn't tell me why. This communication between, if this is legitimate, I mean, this is a fucking guy that we signed for 60 mil. Sorry to stop reading, Leo, but this is the part that I wanted to harp on, the lack of communication. If this is true, get Conte, get Stellini, every fucker associated with him, the hell out of here. Leo, you know how I feel. I have a fucking little doodle boodle of fucking Antonio Conte because I was all on the hype train. I felt fucking good and horny about it. But then this is the press conferences, him starting to blame the club's history. The fact that AC Milan has a richer history than us is why we fucking lost. That is bullshit, my friend. I'm sorry. I've supported him since the beginning. That's fucking bullshit. And this lack of communication. If he's asking, why am I not starting? Why? And they don't tell him anything, and then he's on the bench. Of course, he's gonna come off the bench, or even when he does get his chance to start, he's not gonna look that great because he's like, do these people even fucking like me? What's the problem here? Yeah. So I can keep going unless anyone else wants to talk about that.
No, well, let's just we'll pause right there. We'll pause right there. I'm gonna keep it shared, Jacob, but I'm gonna come back to this view so we could talk about it. We'll dive more into it. Paul, you were getting ready to say something, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't care if Richarlison's right or wrong, and I think he's wrong about a lot of the things he says. He should keep his mouth shut and not white ant the manager. And I'm not saying I'm Conte in at the moment. I want him definitely gone. But when players do that for one manager, they can do it for any manager, and I don't like that. I don't want to see him again in a Spurs shirt. And he's whining about not getting match time. Well, you know, if you take a shot and you hit a corner flag at Sheffield United, man, you're not picking yourself. You're not doing yourself any favours. You know what I mean?
Corner flag being generous.
I played really well. I played really well. Well, how many goals you got? 0. How many assists? What? Nothing? 2 in the whole season or something like that?
He gave physical, Paul. He gave energy, Paul. That's what they say, right?
I'm just forward,
providing
man.
the counterpoint.
Forward, man. He's got to get goals, set up goals, do that sort of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I've
the same things that people talk down on Sonny. I say the same thing about fucking Hulisevsky. What the fuck he been doing? Everyone's critiquing Sonny, and rightfully so. But fucking call it even. Kulu's not been the same. Harry Kane's getting all these goals, these tap-ins and penalty and set piece. I think we have 12 set piece goals, which is great. But now our set piece goals are not happening. Our set pieces look like shit. Where are them goals? Sorry, Paul. I'm rambling.
No, I just don't think there's any time a player should say stuff like that. I don't like player power. I think it doesn't do anything good for the team. You know, it's a very selfish act, and it probably shows that there's probably some sort of discontent in the dressing room. They're not united, which I can understand that within the dressing room because I just don't like what Conte has been doing recently or this season. Really, I've tried to. Like yourself, Jacob, love the guy, you know, because he does have nice eyes. You're right, man. You know, he's got a nice.
Hey. Gotta call it how I see it, man. He's got nice eyes. He lured me in.
But from the lineup against Sheffield United to, you know, we need a goal and we bring on that playmaker, winner of a man, Davison Sanchez. You know, fuck off out of my club, and Richarlison can fuck off too.
But Charleston's supposed to be the Kane backup.
How do you feel about, you know, we got Paul's opinion. He says that maybe Richarlison shouldn't have gone that route, that it's uncalled for. Do you share the same opinion, or are you kind of, you know, Bobby K put in there that, you know, I'm glad that he spoke out, pathetic display, and he called it out. He called out the whole team effort. He didn't call out his own individual effort. And if anything, he kind of like bigged himself up, which, I mean, I kind of disagree with him bigging himself up because there's not really much to big up. But, you know, is it wrong for a player to show his emotion the way he did?
I think there's times and places for it. But I think you have to be walking the walk to be able to do that. And so I kind of agree with Paul. Like, there's not going to be a lot of good that comes from it. It's just going to create unrest. It's going to create undercurrents, that kind of shit. And that doesn't help teams at all. I mean, every now and then there can be, if you're just trying to, rile up a team or get a change to happen, maybe it makes sense. But it felt more like a selfish thing, him doing that more than I don't know, thinking of the team. And honestly, when he's been in the time he has gotten, there hasn't been much there. He's been as much a passenger as Sonny really at times when he, obviously Sonny's gotten more time of it, so it sticks out more, but he hasn't been much better. So I don't know. I tend to lean towards Paul too. I think in general, it's not a good precedent to set because you get everybody start doing that all the time moving forward. And then, then I don't know, there's gotta be some kind of respect there. With that said, I agree with a lot of things that he said, but I just don't think maybe, I don't know. It's a weird line to walk or whatever.
No, I don't mind a player saying the things he's saying, like our performance was bad or things like that. That's fine. But he went a stage further, as if to imply that we would have smashed AC Milan if only my godly skills were allowed on the pitch from the very beginning, and the manager's an asshole for not picking me, and I don't know why, because I'm the best fucking player ever, hitting a corner flag. He's preserving. He's trying to preserve his own image at the expense of everything else. Fuck him.
Do you guys agree that he has not been that great when he has gotten time?
Yeah.
He hasn't lived up to the hype. I'm not gonna lie. He hasn't came on and impressed. He did have the 2 goals in the Champions League, which helped us out. But I mean, apart from that, he hasn't really and a lot of people use the whole shithousery like that's a stat or that's like a fucking attribute in football, and that's gonna help us win the game. It will if he could get a couple people sent off, but that hasn't even been the case either. You know what I mean? Yeah. He hasn't really besides the outside of the boot assist for the goal, he hasn't really done too much. But real quick, I'm gonna pull this back up, Jacob, and if you wouldn't mind, bro, just kind of continue reading his interview.
Yeah, let's see, where did I leave off exactly? On the bench, there are things I don't understand. I think I said, okay, this is the next one. This season has been, sorry for the word, but this season has been shit because I do not have enough minutes. I know I've had injuries, but every time I play, I put my life on it. I had 2 good games, especially against Chelsea, where I played the full 90 minutes and we won. There's not much else to say. I think I should have played, and there's no more crying about it. The question was then, as you said, this season has been extremely frustrating so far. How will you keep the focus from now until the end of the season? There are about 15 games left in the season. I got to try and score as many goals as possible. The club paid an expensive price for me, and so far I haven't lived up to it on the pitch. Of course, there were the injuries and the lack of game time, but now it's about going home, recovering, training, and let's see if he will play me in the next game.
He
being Conte.
Yeah.
Disrespectful bastard.
Well, real quick, I just want to put up this comment for you, Paul. You got a big shout out from Johnny Wetboy FC.
Hey, man.
Says, legend. Johnny Wetboy, thank you for tuning in, brother. So look, guys, he's obviously frustrated, but he hasn't really done anything to justify the frustration. I think he even didn't he say that we were shit and that I know there was some sort of profanity that was translated. He said that we've been playing like shit. But if I'm thinking my honest opinion, shit. Yeah, the season has been shit. Yeah,
but he meant for him. He wasn't saying it's like for Spurs. He was saying it's shit for me. He said,
yeah.
Do you guys think Richarlison's going to be on the bench for the rest of the season, or do you think he's fucking not going to get much more minutes?
Bro, his locker's in the fucking U18s. He ain't seeing the fucking sunlight if they can help it. Yeah. No, after this, Conte ain't going to take that bullshit. Dan Juma, everyone's going to start seeing Dan Juma, I bet you. I'll put $1 on it. Or Lucas, where he's not going to be the first sub or the last sub anyway. I don't know. To me, I just don't see him allowing a player to really say that, questioning the authority. You know what I mean? That's kind of I
agree.
Undermining the teacher. You don't do that. Yeah. And if you do, the teacher's going to fucking hit you with some extra homework. It's
not
just
publicly. You definitely don't do it publicly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought he could get away with it because it was in Portuguese. I don't know.
Bobby K says us keeping our mouths shut has made us this spineless, lazy team. Don't like his self praise. Again, you know, I guess we all can agree that it doesn't merit him to be able to, you know, pat himself on the back. But, you know, he said we were shit when we were, which is the truth. I wish Kane would say this, and this is Bobby K's opinion. And I agree. I think, you know,
Did
I
y'all hear?
think that
Did you listen to Kane, Leo? Did you hear? Did you listen to his quotes after the match?
you know, bro, I have some shit going on that like I was like with one eye on the TV, one eye on my phone, just paying attention more to my phone, doing other shit that like
But the
I
the
barely
one that
seen the
Spurs
game or,
tweeted, the
or the
one that
after.
Spurs tweeted.
So
No.
okay, so what I saw, Jake, is I saw the headline. And it was something like, Harry says we probably didn't deserve to win over the two legs. And I thought, I'm not listening to this fucker. So what did he say, man?
So I read some of the quotes. I read them, and I was like, okay, it sounds like he was like, yeah, this was bullshit, y'all. We shouldn't have fucking lost. We really should have worked harder, and I really felt like we were lacking in these places. And I was like, okay, this sounds kind of promising. And then I listened to it, and I felt the exact opposite of how I felt when I read the quotes this morning. And basically, I'll summarize because I don't have the quotes in front of me. One of the quotes he said, over the two legs, if we're brutally honest, I don't think we can say we deserve to win. And then he was like, I guess we kind of lacked hunger and desire. I'm like, you lack desire in this interview, it looks like right now. And to me, he just looks disconnected. He looks checked out, man. Sonny's look checked out. Richarlison's now angry, and I think we used to get an angry Sonny and angry Kane. I just don't think they care anymore. I mean, if we're honest, Hugo, whenever he was speaking out after some bad losses, he didn't. I don't know. He just seemed like reading the quotes. I felt like, okay, thank you for saying that, Kane. And then listening to it, I felt like, wow, this is why we're fucking ass, because you're the captain. People are looking at you for the fucking to be Braveheart. We need you, Mel Gibson. You need to go lead the way. And he's like, well, I guess we fucking lack desire and we lack hunger. And it's like, come on, man. Like,
it's got to be frustrating for him, though. I mean, he's not getting any service or the balls in good positions at all. And so, I mean, he's got to be run down thinking.
There was a couple good balls from when Porro came in, but until Porro came in, you're right. Emerson was not crossing well into the box. Fucking Hulisevsky's not crossing well into the box. He wasn't getting out. He was the one creating that play. And then Sonny, if you saw, was kind of like wherever side the ball was on, Sonny was hanging out at the corner of that box outside of it to try and help facilitate play. I've gotten to a point where even as I will call myself an amateur tactically, to where I'm questioning it. I used to not question it. This guy's a serial winner. He came from Serie A. He's X, Y, and Z and that and the other. And look at them fucking eyes. And how can I know more than him, or how could I say what's better? But it's just gotten to a point where I'm like, why is Sonny playing with his back to the goal, trying to create that link up play? Why is that what we're asking of our left forward, or excuse me, our left winger and our right winger? With Kulu, it's a little different because that actually kind of plays into his attributes. I do think he has a little bit of pace, but that's a little bit more of a Kane and Kulu play style. Why is Sonny doing that? And I think that's where Richarlison's coming from by saying some of this stuff is like, this is what I will give him credit for. What I think merits, whenever I at least talk about, okay, Sonny or Richarlison, who gets to start, the only things that I'll put jelly beans on the side for of Richarlison is he tracks back more aggressively and he's a little bit better in the defensive duties. But why are we asking Son to fucking do that?
Yeah.
That's what I do not understand.
Yeah, the forward should only care about scoring goals. They're not. I don't think they're the first line of defence. That's the midfield. You know, they mop up loose balls and things that bobble around. The strikers have got to save that explosive energy for their sprints into space. And if they're just tracking back all the time, they're using too much energy. You know.
Yeah. Big up to Kellum. I just want to say what's up to my homie Kellum. He says, "Big up, lads. Any point of watching Spurs?" I mean, we gotta, we're loyal when we. What's the? There's the quotes that float around there is loyal when we win and loyal when we lose or something like that. And like Jacob's wife said, masochism. Not just fucking masochism. We love to fucking just do this to ourselves. And
I
then
walked into this fire, I guess. It didn't look like a
yeah,
fire when
right.
I first. But that's the thing. I don't think I'm a mad. I mean, yes, week in, week out, I fucking get my hopes up, and then I'm like, ugh, the pain, the burn, it stings. But when I walked into this, I didn't think it was gonna. I was like, okay, here's a team. They were going with Pochettino, and then now they have a new regime, and like now I'm got some hope, right? We got a fucking serial winner, Jose Mourinho. He's gonna get us a trophy, and he got us to a final. I granted, I know we were top of the league like 4 or 5 matches into the season, but we were top of the league at one point. That was a fun screenshot, and then we got to a cup final, and I was excited. 5 days before that cup final, I was a little bit less excited, actually a lot less excited, because then in comes Ryan Mason, and it's just like, okay. And then we took 76 days to get a manager, and to me, it's just like, this is. I walked into this. I didn't think it was. I just thought it was a normal fucking house, and you walk in, and there's fucking secret
like-
boogie trap rooms and
It's the
fucking
fucking storehouse.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh man. Let's
fucking
see. Kellum,
Amityville over here.
Yeah.
Kellum just said,
Leather faces in the background, getting ready.
Callum's girlfriend has started watching Spurs, and he says, "By the way, I was joking by any point about watching Spurs." No, we get the joke, bro. We know you're joking.
Yeah,
As far as
you
your
know how bad
girlfriend
it is,
starting to watch Spurs,
So,
that's a bad
so,
move.
Jacob had Kuva and I on his stream yesterday, and I was
Yeah.
thinking about what Kuva was saying about not watching the game at Nottingham Forest on the weekend and maybe watching a movie, treating myself, box of chocolates. That's actually the thought of not watching Spurs is making me quite excited about the weekend now. I think I'm just going to watch a movie, enjoy it, and look at the score afterwards, and maybe some highlights, and then come on some streams and look at everybody who's really annoyed. And I'll have seen Star Trek: The Motion Picture and had a great time. And I hate that Spurs are so bad that I'm excited about not watching them. Shouldn't be that way.
What is this crevice
Yeah.
that Jack Kanicki has found? I want to know. He
Yeah,
says,
big up, Jack Nicky.
big up Jack K. I hope he's still in London. It's late.
I wanted to ask if he's still out there. That's probably why he's saying he found a crevice to sneak into, because everybody's asleep, and Jack's still on the U.S. time zone. You know what I mean?
No,
He's still
the
jet
police
lagged.
are gonna go get him, man. You screaming around in London. I don't know what it's like out there, but I gotta imagine if you're screaming in London. Everyone's got to hear you in London if you're out there screaming, but maybe
Now that
he
we-
meant coming here on this late night of a channel. I think you're right. Leo.
for them, yeah, that's what I'm saying. For them being out there, with different
Spot
time
on,
zones.
Leo.
But dude, I hope you enjoyed your time. I mean, albeit the fucking the result didn't go the way we all wanted to, but Paul, how we were talking earlier about people that traveled up there to watch the game. Jack's one of the people that did travel out there and had to watch these guys basically just pull their fucking pants down and let Milan do to them what they wanted to. So
Yeah, well,
We didn't even pull our
like-
pants down. We just laid there. And they let you pull our pants down. You do it.
Yeah, just lay there on the pool table. Come on in, sailor. And all of you, At least the guys that went over had a chance to meet each other and have fun. So really, it wasn't all a loss. But the main event of the show was some
it was
washed up,
Spursy to be exact. Yeah,
some washed
Guys,
up old thing on a pool table. Maybe chucking some pong balls out and stuff like that, and that was it.
yeah. Brent, another trophy this season. I just, bro, at the beginning of the season, we all aimed for a quadruple, a treble to say the least. I mean, we start every season just wanting the best for our
blame Kuva.
team, and you blame Kuva for the quadruple.
I blame Kuva. Nah, he said beginning of the season the quad was on. He said he put a bet on the quad. Spurs hitting the quad. He put a bet on it, so I blame him because I was like, man, if he put a bet on it, Kuva's a pretty smart guy. So I was feeling
Right.
good. I
So
was like,
what you're saying is our bad season is like some mafia underworld thing. They saw this bet coming in, and we've got to make sure this doesn't happen because this is like $1 billion payout. So we've got to fucking
change the
nod the
script. Change the
Spurs.
script.
yeah, change the script.
But is it like, now that we're out of all the trophies, do you think the pub's going to be the same atmosphere?
No.
Do you think fans, are going to show out like they should? What's your initial thought on, like when I say that, bro, another trophy season?
Well, there is one trophy still left to win, and that's the Arsenal not winning the trophy. So that'll be the trophy that I'm rooting for the rest of the season, since our season is, as Richie put it, is shit at this point. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've been following as long as you guys have, and so I'm still maybe not as numb to that as you guys are. I don't know. I just I think, okay, well, I didn't really expect to win one of the smaller ones anyway, and I always come into every season thinking, hey, maybe this will be like 2016 or 2017 where we somehow were in the running, and then lately it's been pretty quick to see that we're outclassed, just in spending, if nothing else. It's like, oh, of course we're not going to compete with that necessarily. I don't know, man. The trophy thing is a weird thing for me. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I was thinking that I thought maybe the FA Cup this year that we might have a shot at it, but that obviously went down the shitter with.
You know what I want? It's not necessarily like I'm like, damn it, let me get a trophy now, trophy me now, because that's just spoiled. That's entitled.
Yeah.
What I want is my manager and my owner of the club to at least say this. Okay, Levy said it for the cameras, and we all didn't believe him. But when Conte said, my job is to improve, not win the Premier League or Champions League, you think anything like that, you're crazy. You're out of your mind. And then he kind of almost echoed those sentiments with these post-match comments saying, hey, look, guys, if you thought we were going to be a contender in this against AC Milan, their history compared to Tottenham's, you're crazy. You're foolish. And it's like, I mean, hold on a second. He's saving face on one hand, when he goes to Juve or maybe even AC Milan in the summer, and he's going to say, yeah, I mean, look what I said. You're fucking hit. Of course, you at your worst is better than us at our mediocre. And it's really sad. So what I want is my manager to at least be like, you know what? One of them four fuckers we're trying to win. I don't know which one it is, but one of them is what I want. Something. Newcastle, the owners come in. They said, fucking 10 years, we're winning the Premier League. Within 10 years, that's our goal. We're going to win the Premier League within 10 years. What is ours? Whoa, we just need to improve the squad. Don't lose too much and get top four. As long as we get top four, we get that Champions League money. Everyone's happy. Everyone's greased up, and that's what pisses me off. I don't give a fuck about top four. I want a fucking FA Cup. I wanted the fucking FA Cup so bad, and thinking about that really upsets me.
There was a few World Cups ago, and Australia had this manager Guus Hiddink, and as he was getting on the Guus Hiddink. And as they were getting on the plane to fly off to, I can't remember which World Cup it was now. They all merge into one when you get old. But the press are there and they're saying, what are our chances, Gus? What do you reckon we can do? And he just says, you want me to say it, don't you? We're going to win the World Cup. And everyone went, yeah, we all knew it was bullshit, but it didn't fucking matter because it was just
yeah, fucking man, come on. If you think about the movie 300, Gerard Butler didn't fucking say, y'all, let's just go die or let's run away. He said, let's go fucking kill them all. And they didn't. But
I think some of these managers, the way they talk today, it's almost that they could be sued or they're legally culpable for things you say. Like, so, that someone would come back to them at the end of the season. Well, you said we were going to win the league this year and we didn't win it. You're a liar. We're going to see. It's like there is room to say things just to inspire people, inspire fans and players. Whether it's realistic or not doesn't matter. But like Bill Nicholson says, if you don't aim high, you've got to aim high. You've got to aim so high that even in defeat there are echoes of glory. So your aim every year is to win everything. And if you come out and I would just love a manager of Tottenham to just say that. We all know it ain't going to happen, but that's the aim. We aim to win everything. Premier League, FA Cup, we aim for the quadruple, man.
That's what I'm saying. I want to give me Kuva. Kuva at least had me fucking believing we were going to win at least one measly, the tiny little penis Carabao. I'll take it. We didn't get it. That's fine. We got knocked out to who with Conte's team? I believe it was Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest,
abysmal. All right.
Yeah.
And then last year's FA Cup, Borough. Get the fuck out of here. This year, who's FA Cup? Sheffield United. Who, might I add, had an extra game to play because they couldn't fucking beat Wrexham, a fucking non-league team. They had to play them twice.
And
the second time
switched.
Yeah, you're right. This I saw someone say that Wrexham had switched up their entire 8 of their 11, and Sheffield played their strongest 11 versus Wrexham, and they barely won that. And then they play a changed 11. They had like 6 changes to their 11, and we had like 5. I don't give a fuck. We could have changed 8 of our 11, 10 of our 11, and the quality of the players that fulfill those roles should have been better. Everything should have been better. The tactics should have been better. At every level, we failed. There's no way we could have won the cup this year, even if we had beat the powerhouse that is Sheffield. Then we had a bigger challenge, which is Blackburn at home. Yeah. And then who do we have before that? Fucking Preston North End and Plymouth. And God, they made it so easy.
It's not like we even walked through those games either. Was it? Was it Plymouth? Was
1-0. We beat one of them 1-0.
Yeah, and that was only because of Harry Kane just thinking, "Oh fuck it, I've got to score to get us through." Because that was a real shit performance as well.
The Champions League. Think about all the groups. When we drew Champions League, the groups when we drew, was anyone like, "Oh, this is a tough group." We fucking squeaked out of that group. We barely we Richarlison's fucking brace. The only 2 goals he's ever scored for us. is the only reason we even got out of that group. Yeah, but when that draw happened, that was sorry, Brent, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and then Højbjerg hit that one that actually put us to win the actual group, whatever, like the last kick of the game, basically.
It's absurd. NS Mura in the Conference League. We should have won the fucking conference. It should have been Spurs versus Jose Mourinho in the final of the Conference League. It was written in the fucking stars. But you know what? The only person who read that message was Roma and Jose Mourinho, because they went to the final and they won it. We should have been the ones playing. I'm telling you, like, at every corner we're gonna fucking disappoint, and that's just like I'm at the angry phase, I guess. I'm at the fucking I'm angry.
Come on, man, get it out there.
And it's been a long day too, so I'm just like, I've been thinking about Tottenham all day, and it's been a long day in general. It's just like, Tottenham, you're supposed to be my escape. Lately,
dude, you look like you're on the verge of taking bath salts and going out naked and fucking the exhaust of a car or something, man. Come on, man.
I don't know what I did to look like that.
So we're at a point now. Go ahead, Brent.
I said, come to think of it, doesn't sound bad though.
Watching Spurs, isn't it?
You guys, we're just at a point now where like something has to give. I don't know your guys' opinion, but I think Antonio Conte is just like, he mentally checked out. I think we should cut him loose now then, instead of just letting it drag on.
Yeah. And
even if we do that, if we bring in whoever it is that we bring in, I'm not even like the biggest Poch guy in. I really, I don't think he's gonna make a difference with these players that we have. I think, like I put in the title, it's time for a factory reset. And Sean from Spurs Talk Show, he had a good walk and talk earlier and kind of went, said a lot of the same stuff. Like, we bring in a new manager. What's the point? We have all these players that are to blame. And then even you, Jacob, last night.
It's the same cycle.
Yeah, even you last night, you even questioned, is it the fans' fault? You know what I mean? Are we at fault for letting this shit, drag on? Do we need to start, walking out on matches or not fucking going to matches, or is it our fault for letting this shit just drag on? I think this club is just due for a massive shakeup. I know there's been some sort of images floating around of Daniel Levy, meeting with that Iranian American fellow out in I don't know where, but that
Bahrain, some
yeah,
shit.
there's photos of them meeting, and who knows, they could just be having lunch like rich people do,
Nah,
or
he
there
looked
could
like
be
he was
some
getting tickled, bro. His smiles, he don't smile like that nowhere near North
Daniel
London.
Levy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that motherfucker was cheesing like someone had a finger up his butt. He was walking around
well,
happier than a pig in shit.
Well, if it's an investment that's coming in, bro, if it's a total, if it's just a total sale of the club, that is, in my opinion, guys, that's one of the biggest steps that needs to be handled soon. And it's not something that's gonna be done in a week or two. It's something that's gonna drag out. And by the time that happens,
Yeah.
we're gonna go probably through. I just feel bad for whoever comes in. I'm under the impression that Antonio Conte needs to go, and he needs to go now. We don't need to wait until the end of the season. We need to get rid of him now. We need to bring in another manager so by the end of the season he's draped up and dripped out. You know what I mean? Move on to the next one. I think we're gonna go through a few managers before we get the one that is going to be able to stabilize this whole ship. I brought up the name of Thomas Tuchel. Not that I want him, not that I need him, not that we need him or want him. I just know that he's been rumored to be a Tottenham fan. I think we need somebody who understands the history. No, and I agree. I'm not the biggest Tuchel in or out. I just know that like he's the example. He's a Spurs fan. I think we need somebody who knows the DNA of Tottenham to be able to come in, and I think it's too
What is
early
the
for
DNA though?
Pochettino.
Let me that I hear that so often. What is the DNA? Paul, Kuva, and I, we all talked about it last night. There used to be a Spurs way. That used to be a thing. There is no. So when you say like Pochettino, well, he didn't do jack shit with us. I'm sorry, getting us to a final, close only counts with hand shoes and grenades, and you couldn't get us over the hump. To me, to come back to a club that did not back you. He did a whole press conference crying about, oh, I'm just a coach. Maybe they need to change my title because I'm just a coach and not a manager. I have no say in incomings out, which rightfully so, because damn right, Pochettino was spot on and said, I need to fucking call some shots here. But obviously, the fucking club had his hands behind his back because of the stadium being built, etc. And there was that window where they didn't spend a fucking dollar or excuse me, a euro or a pound or a fucking ruby or a fucking yen or whatever you want. They didn't spend anything to back this man. He got pissed, complained, and he comes back to me. I would think less of him. Go somewhere else, bro. Get a job with a bigger club, with a club that will back you financially, whether that be Italy, France. I mean, PSG, he won the whatever, the fucking Uber Eats championship that they got over there. And he went and won a trophy, bro. Just move on. I think it's just too easy to be
I
like, man,
agree.
this is my last good relationship. Let's go back to it. Nah, man, the
Yeah,
bitch did you wrong. You go back to her. Everything that happens if you go back to her is your fucking fault, and I no longer support you. I'm no longer defending you. I'm honestly going to be critiquing you harder because you made that decision to go back to the person who did you so wrong. I'm sorry, it's weak, it's an excuse, it's what's comfortable, it's staying in your fucking this is my nice padded room
yeah.
and no one can hurt me, and it's fucking stupid. Factory reset. That's spot on. Burn the whole fucking thing down. The stadium included, not literally, but burn the whole thing down. The stadium included, literally, and then fucking build it up with an academy that feeds into. Imagine if we had a
Yeah.
fucking Rico Lewis coming out of our academy that could play left back, that could play right back, play fucking Oliver Skipp's position, play fucking Son's position. If we get a Phil Foden to come impact, we had a Harry Kane who's impacted us. But when did he burst onto the scene? Fucking 10 years ago. Oliver Skip is
Yeah.
looking like he wants to sniff around the scene. I'm not discounting anything from Oliver Skip, by the way. I think, but the best is still to be seen if we're going to say that he was this impactful player to this squad, but we don't have the structure in place, and that feeds into that. And it starts at the top. If you're fucked from the top, you're going to get fucked from the bottom. Shit will roll downhill, and guess what? The whole way down, it's going to leave little poo-poo marks the whole way down. And it's gross and it's nasty. You got to clean it. You got to make sure it's not rolling down any hill. Just make the whole motherfucker pretty. And we're not doing that, man. That's factory reset. You're spot on, Leo.
And about this whole Conte contract thing, if he was happy and wanted to be at Tottenham, he would have signed. He would have signed the contract extension.
Yeah, that's just it.
There's no excuse for him to say, I'm waiting till the end of the season, because you know what? You can sign the contract now, sign a 3-year contract, and if in 4 months the summer transfer window isn't going well, isn't what you expected, you can walk away. Slavery was outlawed in 1865, motherfucker. You don't have to stay there, but it's a sign that he doesn't want to be there. And if he doesn't want to be there, I'm actually disappointed that he isn't walking himself. It seems like he's playing a bit of a game because he wants the payout.
Yep.
That disgusts me, to be quite honest. If you're just hanging around waiting to be sacked, if you really don't want to be there, walk. And the board, they should recognise if he doesn't want to be there, just get rid of him. Ryan Mason or whoever the fuck it is, let's start thinking about next season, because this bastard isn't going to be here anymore.
Yeah, Brent, you want to chime in, brother?
No, I mean, I agree with everything that Paul just said, pretty much. So I have a lot to add on to it. It's exactly what you said, Paul. I've been thinking, like, why doesn't Conte just do it for us at this point? Because it's very clear that it's he's not there or whatever. Did you guys see the shit that he said after the match yesterday too? He said something like, if anybody thinks 13 or 14 months is enough time to build a team or whatever, and I'm like, if he had said 5 or 6 months, then I'm like, yeah, you're right, that's not enough time. 13 or 14 months, like, we should have seen something by this point. And I think Jake was saying earlier something about improving isn't enough. We haven't improved either. So
we haven't improved on that. But that was part of his excuse was, well, we squeaked into this and they won the skidoo, and I don't give a good golly fuck about that.
And you mean, you guys brought up United before, like, we can all see now, like, oh, something's a brewing, like this could be bad news going forward. And so 13 or 14 months in, maybe you're not there yet, but you can see it taking shape. And like, we're all talking about the exact fucking opposite thing right now. We're all saying, like, we're seeing it fall apart. We're not seeing it take shape.
Conte said he needed 3 windows. It's been 3 windows. But then that leads to the argument, has Conte been properly bagged?
Oh, I'm fed up with hearing all that shit, man. I really am. It's like if you buy a player, you only buy players that should walk, for any manager, just walk into the straight first 11, You mentioned there about the youth setup there, Jacob, and I remember the UEFA Cup final in 1984, and we had a couple of suspensions, we had a load of injuries, and I remember, I was a kid watching that on TV, and the lineup, it's like, I don't know who like 5 or 6 of these players are, I can't remember them, big stars were out, but our youth and reserve setup was so good. It was like the first team was playing. It was amazing, That's how good it was, and that's how it used to be at Tottenham. That okay, you got the main team, but all the other teams play the same fucking way. So when you have a problem, you can demote players from within, and it works.
And it also keeps you on your fucking toes, because you look at Emerson. We loan with option or obligation to buy. I don't remember. With Pedro Porro. The motherfucker can't even crack the 11 and us get a win. Every time he starts, we lose. And it's like, Emerson's now looking like the solution to that. We're in such a weird fucking place as a team right now. It's hard to make sense of what we're actually seeing on match day, on starting 11, throughout the week. Even our social media admins in the fucking mud.
And whoever the next manager is. Sorry.
Let me ask you guys this. So, if we're talking about a factory reset, one of them has to go first, right? Whether it's new owners, whether if it's a new manager, a new style of play, or it's new players. Brent, to you, which one do you see coming first, bro? Or which one is the most detrimental to you to change, to get this ball rolling?
I mean, the owners aren't leaving, so I take that one out. Like, I feel like there's no control of that. It's going to be Conte. It has to be Conte. You know, we've tried a system. We've tried, you know, some of his ideas of players. I don't know which ones were his and which one were brought in. I would assume most of them were, you know, his choice. So, like, it's just clearly not working. So that's the easiest change. But maybe the real answer is that, you know, maybe this chemistry of players, you know, we crapped out. We thought this is it and it didn't work. I don't know. But I'd say Conte first.
Is there a manager that's going to walk into our squad and get better results from Eric Dyer, from Davies, from Sanchez, from fucking Harry Winks when he comes back? You know, from the shit show when he comes back. You know, are we looking for a manager that's going to come back and try and fine tune these idiots that we have out on loan and the ones that are, you know, automatic starters because they just are, because that's just how it is. You know, like it's just like it's so stressful, you guys, to try and even pinpoint what it is. Real quick, I do want to shout out THFC Till I Die, Dermot. Big up, another homie of ours that ended up going to London to watch the game. You know, he said first, it's not the fans' fault, it's not Conte's fault, it's the players' fault, pure and simple. Paul, know as well as I do, the players of the past would never do what the players did yesterday. And then he also said the South Stand sang from minute 1 to minute 96. The fans are Tottenham Hotspur, not players, owners, managers, owners. It's the fans who made the club. We have the best fans in the world.
Except all the ones on Twitter. Half the ones on Twitter are out their fucking skull.
Even when we've been crap, the players have always put in a shift, you know. And yeah, Dermot's right. I think that some of the players that I've seen in the Spurs shirt and they would be turning in their grey. Apparently, Steve Perriman did a presentation at half-time at the Milan game. They should have just chucked him into the dressing room and let him have a word with the players. And you know what I want to see from the next manager is I don't want to see someone who's ashamed of our past. You know, I'll give you an example of when, like, Ange Postecoglou, Australian manager, went to Celtic, right? It's a big club, you know, huge club in Glasgow. All the Scottish fans are thinking, who the fuck is this guy? Why have we got this? Why haven't we got someone else? Blah, 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 blah. And he sat there at his first press conference and he talked about the history of Celtic, how it was, you know, founded by Irish migrants into Glasgow. And he related that to his own history as being a migrant, and his family came from Greece to Australia, you know. And he talked about the great times of Celtic. I want to see our next manager come in and talk about Bill Nicholson, talk about the way we play with style and a flourish, not be ashamed of that shit, you know, because I think that's the sort of thing. I know we've got a lot of new tourist fans at Tottenham, but there's also a lot of second, third, fourth generation Tottenham fans, and that's the blood that's flowing through their veins, you know. That's the stuff that motivates people like that, you know, people my age. I want to hear stuff like that because that was what we used to that was what used to guide us, and it guided us to being the best football team in the world. And so to use some of that until someone comes along who's better, you know, that's the best we've got. And I just don't want to hear this bland corporate shit like, you know, like you're saying earlier, man, about, oh, we want to improve, we want to be competitive, world's best practice, we've got the best stadium, we've got the best train. That's generic to every football club there is. I want to hear them talking about glory. I want to hear them talking about the rich history, the double winning side. You know, the last non-professional team to win the FA Cup. I want them to stir all that goodness back up to the bubble. And I know it might be old-fashioned for some, but we've been doing new-fashioned and bland for a while now, and it hasn't fucking worked. And I would like some old-school shit back.
Spot on, Paul. As always.
Thanks, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, the question at the end of the day is how do we move forward from this? Because it seems like we're heading downhill. I think we all agree that Antonio Conte has checked out, physically, mentally, spiritually, any realm, in all realms of the word. He's not there, and it's definitely, you know, to put it in Harry Potter terms, you know, the times are changing, Harry Potter. It's getting dangerous here at Hogwarts. You know, like that's how I feel. Like it's just
I've
a
never
big old
seen
black
them.
cloud looming.
I've seen the
You
first
should,
one.
bro.
I've seen the
You
first
waste
one
your time
when
every
it first
weekend
came
watching
out, but
football. You should.
yeah, I may as well find a fucking. I've been
You
thinking
might as
about it. I
well,
want to get
bro.
that Hogwarts game. The game looks fun, and I figured maybe that would motivate me to watch it, or maybe I should watch it then get the game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Expecto silver trophyo.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you guys, it's
Depressio Ignito.
yeah, Spursio Depression.
There
That's
you go.
just
Tell
what
That's a
you
it is.
better
this,
one.
watching
That's just
Tottenham is
what it
like
is.
fucking dementors sucking out my soul at the moment.
Little puppet, big up to you. Totally agree. Get back to our roots. Thank you for tuning
Yeah,
in.
man.
Um, and Bobby K says bedtime, lads. Enjoy the show, everyone. Hit the like button and good night to all. You know, Bobby, thank you. I appreciate you,
Oh,
brother. And
man.
I do encourage you guys to hit the like button. And also, if you're not subscribed to our channel, I suggest, and I encourage you to subscribe. Also, subscribe to the homie Jacob's channel.
No, I'm not
They're
suggesting you
like,
to subscribe to Mile High. I'm threatening you to subscribe to
there
Mile
you go.
High. If you haven't subscribed, I'll fucking find you. I'll find you and treat you like you're Ryan Sessegnon. Just strangle the fuck out of you.
Right on. I
Is that
appreciate
what you
that.
call
And the
it?
homie,
Is that what you call it, Jacob? You call it your Ryan Sessegnon, do you?
Yeah, because it's good on the left, and good on the right, and it doesn't live up to expectations. And I just say, I just need more confidence and time, more confidence
yeah,
and time, and then
that's
it'll go
funny.
down the left. But no, never.
That's funny. Well, you guys, I
Tell
mean,
the
this
Harry
is
Winks they don't appreciate me even when I have a good performance. When was that, you cunt?
oh, don't even get him started on Harry Winks. Don't even get Jacob started on Harry Winks.
No, you want to open up that can of worms? That'd be a whole nother hour. We'll be on this stream. I'll tell you about Harry Winks. That is the
Yeah.
last. If that motherfucker never returns to Tottenham, we will
He's
be
gonna
better
return,
for it.
bro.
He's coming
He's
back.
gonna return.
How
He's
he
coming
kept the
back.
number 8 jersey this long is actually criminal, and it's offensive.
Well,
Big
he's
words,
probably gonna be
Jacob.
wearing it next season too.
Do not right now, Mile High, $5, a fiver. Put a fiver on it, and I'm talking about a high five, baby, because I don't bet money. It goes against my beliefs, and really, I don't have any beliefs, but I feel like I got to stand for something, you know. And I remember when I was a kid, I was like, I'll never go to Vegas. When they asked me in church, you gonna go to the Sin City? No, I'm not gonna go to Vegas, Dad. And now it's like Vegas isn't that bad. I mean, whatever. So I'm gonna do fiver, a high five. Harry Winks will not kick a ball for Tottenham in the regular season. He made the preseason because he's a fucker and he'll. But, hey, my hope was that this is one thing I will give Conte credit for. There were players that he straight up said in the summer, and no,
Yeah.
just no. You're not even going to Korea. You're healthy. You don't even have COVID. I'm taking a plane of COVID fuckers and the team.
That's true.
We're taking half COVID players, half our team, and y'all stay here and train with the fucking U18s. And
That is
who
true,
do you
he
leave
did.
behind? Harry, fuck you, Winks. Harry, I'm a bitch ass Winks. Harry, little cunt. I'm gonna like fucking Pep Guardiola tweets after we just got Pep Guardiola'd. That little bitch. I swear to God, such a traitor ass
told you, Paul.
motherfucker, dude.
I told you,
hate
Paul.
Harry Winks. Little crying ass bitch. Sit your ass in Sampdoria, where motherfucker you fighting to not get relegated out the fucking Serie. Suck it, Harry. You suck, bro. We should have sold you to fucking City for 25 when they came asking for you. God, how he even played for the England. That's a joke on your favorite national team there, Leo. Fucking he has caps for England. That
Yeah,
fucking
he does.
trash ass player. He only got that because he looked good in photos. They like his little freckles. Ooh, he's got freckles and he's a good London boy.
But don't
Fuck
you
you,
feel,
Harry.
Jacob? Don't
Harry
you feel,
Winks, if you're
Jacob,
watching, fuck you.
don't you feel, Jacob, that under a new manager, you know, he might be able to get the best out of Harry Winks?
Yeah.
Oh, I will
There you
fly
go,
to
Paul.
Australia
There
and
you go,
fuck you up. First, I'll have a beer with you. Then I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm throwing hands with you, man. No, there's no getting the best out of. And bro, I get so fucking mad when these stupid ass people on Twitter dropping these Harry Wink fucking comps from Sampdoria, and he's playing against fucking Palermo and fucking Segusio. Like, bro, no, stop it. These Jed Spence things too. Like, okay, if he's doing decent for fucking Ren and the Uber Eats League, that's
Which
great.
he's not,
that doesn't.
bro.
He's not. But if he was,
not even
that doesn't
doing that
mean
good.
shit. That doesn't mean shit. Loan their ass to Championship or Premier League lower tier teams. Let me see him versus who they're gonna actually fucking play, not versus Palermo and fuck on Sam. Dude, Winks is done. He's been done. He's past. He's 26, right? 20. How old is he? 27.
Probably older than that.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, he's older than that. Yeah, he's done.
He's fucking done.
He's done.
MLS won't even have. I mean, they will, but the MLS won't even have him.
Do you know he was once touted as being like the next Xavi or the next Iniesta or something like that, because he's got roots from.
You know, they invented
from
crack in the
Spain.
80s, so people have been smoking that shit since then. And I wouldn't be surprised they said some dumb shit like that.
Yeah, some dumb shit.
Guys, all bullshit apart. I didn't want to go down the Harry Winks, but I enjoy hearing Jacob's love for Harry Winks.
Sorry. I try to not, but fuck,
no,
it
you're
makes
cool.
me want to punch shit. I get so angry when I think about because he bro. I was down so fucking bad. We lost to City. We were up, right? We were up, and then he came back. We were up 2 to City at halftime. Came back. We lost that match 4-2. And guess who? Fucking cunt hair motherfucker likes the fucking tweet. Pep Guardiola masterclass. Guess who? Harry's dickhead Winks, little bitch. I swear to God, I'll punch him. If I ever am in London, I'm punching him if I see him.
Okay, Jake, I just think we'll have to agree to disagree. That's all.
So yeah, Brent, in case you didn't know that when we got beat by City, that 4-2, Pep, somebody tweeted out, a Pep Guardiola masterclass, and then Harry Winks actually
Sports Bible. I have a photo of it.
Yeah, he liked the tweet. So ever since then, I mean, even before then, but that was just like the straw that broke the camel's back for Jacob.
That wasn't even a Pep. It wasn't even a Pep masterclass.
No,
it was a defensive clusterfuck. That's what it was.
That's true.
We went 2-0 up at half time, maybe against the run of play because Manchester City made a couple of fuck ups themselves. Mm-hmm. But then the second half, man, oh man, what a shit show. Yeah, Harry Winks, what a traitorous little bastard.
Yeah,
I'm trying to pull it up because honestly,
Harry Winks is like Harry Winks. That when he did that Jacob, that you're going to pull up. That was like the biggest betrayal since in The Sound of Music, where Rolf, the little Nazi bastard, blows his whistle as the Von Trapp family are escaping. And every time I watch that fucking film, man, I'm praying, Rolf, don't blow your whistle, man. Just don't do it. And he always does. And that's what Harry Winks did to me, man.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good one.
It's showing up blank, so I don't know if you shared if it's going to show it, but.
Oh, yeah, let me see. I just want to say big up to Daniel Sandoval. Big up Daniel, One Love. The homie from Norway. I believe he's in Norway, or if he lives there, but I remember one time he said big up all the way from Norway, so big up to you, homie. And then we have Carlito. Antonio Conte has shown Spurs fans what Chelsea fans have known for 6 years. He is a saboteur.
Saboteur.
Yeah.
That makes him sound fancy. I want to punch him in the face.
Yeah, it's just blank.
Oh, it's just blank? That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's this Winks propaganda shit, man.
Yeah, it's tainted. It's tainted. But look, all bullshit aside, there's a player at our squad that got brought in and he's not getting any game time. I think Expressions Oozing hit the nail on the head with the hammer when he said he took Jed Spence's locker, and now Danjuma is not getting any freaking game time whatsoever. I kind of feel bad for the dude. I'm saying that looking in from the outside, I don't see the man training. I don't know what his behavior is on and off the field, but no.
Why did we buy him? Why did we get the
big
trouble?
Phil Coys. Phil Coys was with us last night too, with Paul, Kuva, and I. Just want to say big up,
Yeah,
Phil.
big up, Phil.
He's a
Big up.
homie.
Thank you for tuning in, brother.
Yeah, he's a
Big up,
homie.
Jacob, Paul, Spurs crew. Pancho Gallardo in.
Why did we go to the trouble of swooping in at the last minute when he was about to be purchased by Everton? He was about to be signed, and we just swooped in, took the pen out of his hand, put our contract underneath. If he's not going to walk into the first team, I don't get it. And all this stuff about Conte buys and Levy buys or whatever. Don't they all just sit the fuck down together and say, look, if we buy this player, well, are you going to play him? No, or you know what I mean? Don't they? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Do they just buy players hoping that he'll get into the first team, or
it's a lack of foresight. I think it's, to me, my best hypothesis. Think about it. We fucking took Richarlison, the best player from Everton. Now, whether you want to say it was worth 60 million or not is very debatable, but right now it's looking like it's not. And then they're about to pull Danjuma. They're trying to fight relegation. What do we say? We're gonna scoop him up too. And to me, it just seems like we know someone who knows someone at Everton, and they're like, "Hey, we're about to sign this guy," and they're like, "No, let's go get him." That's kind of our area right there. Is like they do the same thing, right? They'll buy some players that don't really help their team. They'll hire a big name manager like Carlo Ancelotti. The fuck did he do at Everton?
And if we bring in a manager that plays two up front, what the fuck are we going to do with all these forwards that we've got knocking around? We've got almost a squad of forwards at Tottenham now. I mean, I don't get it.
Well, that reminds me. Maybe Kulu is playing like shit because he doesn't want us to actually pick up his option, and so maybe that's one less.
It might be time. People are praising Paratici, and it's always because of Bentancur, who we are really bloody missing.
Yeah.
And Kulusevski, and maybe he gets a little bit of credit for Romero. I'm not sure he does, but everything else seems to be kind of rubbish. And who's to say that those players are going to hang around anyway?
Yeah.
Why would they?
You muted.
Yeah. What's your opinion? It's because I took a drink and I got ice in that joint. What's your opinion on the way Romero is just fucking blatantly just like, it almost seems like he sabotages us, dude. The way like he just picking up a yellow card at 17 and then tackling like that, when we're down. And Brent, I mean, bro, just what's your first thought of Romero when
Yeah, I told you this earlier. We're at the pub yesterday. He gets that yellow at 17 or whatever it was, and the whole pub is like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like already, because not only for the accumulation for the next match, as if we were going to get there, but then I'm thinking, can he even get through this fucking match? And so immediately we're talking like they need to take him out early in the second half, like no matter what's going on with the match, because he's gonna get a second, and then. I kind of half expected to be on like a ticky-tack kind of like bullshit call, I mean, what the fuck is he thinking? Like, I can't even imagine what he's thinking. Now, everybody's like, oh, he didn't know how to turn it off. He's just a physical player or whatever. And I'm like, well, he's a serious liability at this point if those are the kind of decisions he's going to make. So he's got to figure it out in his head. I mean, that was just such a pointless challenge, no matter, even if whether he had a yellow or not already. Like, it was just unbelievable. So, I mean, I do think he's the one center back right now that probably has legs for keeping, but he's got to grow up in his, mentally a little bit.
I actually don't mind him, and I don't mind a good bit of physicality in the game. And I'll tell you, I mean, especially that second challenge was rash, horrible. But I think part of it is, he's the only player that's really putting in tackles. Our other defenders don't tackle. They try and because they're so good, they don't have to tackle, do they? They just position themselves so fucking well that we just get the ball off the opposition because they just look at these defenders and think, I'm not getting past him.
No way.
I'm just going to run back to my own goal line. So, and I think the other thing is, okay, yeah, he gets sent off, but that's not what cost us the game, man. We lost the game because we didn't fucking try for the 70 minutes before that anyway, or the 80 minutes before that. It was horrible. So, I think moments like that in a game, I'm a Formula One fan, and people, when it comes down to the last few races and people make mistakes or whatever, people always say, well, that cost them the title or whatever. But if you think about the season as being race independent, it's the other things that happened earlier on in the season that did it as well. If you switch the order of the races around, it would be something else that cost them. And I think that about football matches, that was a very, very costly error, but it was also because we did nothing for nothing for the first 70 minutes, and that was the unacceptable bit. So I like a bit of aggression in the game. I know he's got yellow and red cards in him, but man, I'd rather see that style of defence than the other fuckers that just stand around like they're in a Madonna Vogue video,
I agree with you, Paul, like on the physicality part of it. Like I love that in him. I just want him to sit down and maybe fill up his mamija with maybe Eric Lamela can come back and talk to him and be like, hey man, I used to be like you a little bit, and then I learned how to
then I still
find the right places to do it, basically. And so maybe they can drink some latte together and hang out. But this actually points out, and it kind of loops back to something we were talking about before. What was weird is that after he went off, we actually looked, I don't want to say better, but the way we were moving the ball changed a little bit. It was almost like with 10 men, we were forced to do something that Conte refuses to do, and that has changed things up in some way. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a full formation change, but change something, which has been my main problem with Conte as a manager, is that he's just so inflexible as to, even when something's clearly not working. So I don't know. I thought it was really funny yesterday that after we lost Romero, I'm like, well, that's probably the match or whatever. And then actually after that, we, and granted they were sitting back more at that point too, but we didn't look like we were a man down too much, other than on their little.
Did we go 4 at the back at that point? I think we did. We ended up going to a 4 at the back. I think so. I think we did change the formation a bit.
We brought Sanchez in to fill in, but maybe he did.
We brought Kulu off for Sanchez.
We were playing the same 5-2-3 bullshit we have been playing all fucking year, and then they did change it up a bit, and it became more 4-4-2. And I was getting a bit excited, because it was like we had 4 attackers on the pitch, because Ston and Kulu were acting like wingers, and you had Kane and Richarlison up front. And I was thinking, this is feeling a bit more Spursy to me, a bit more Tottenham-y to me. And I think for that 10 minutes, we actually started looking as if we could do something. And then Romero got sent off, and instead of going, 3-4-2, we went back to 5-2-2. We went back, we had the 3 at the back again, and it just killed the whole momentum. And my whole frustration with that sequence of events was we looked so much better when we were 4-4-2 as far as getting goal opportunities. Why didn't we start off like that? Why did we start off yet again?
If I could touch back on the Romero thing, honestly, when I look at that first yellow, I'm not mad about it.
It was soft.
It was soft. But here's the other part of it.
Hello, I'm here. Welcome to the game.
Exactly. It's a fuck you, good morning, or good night, whatever time of day it is for you. The thing is, you see it, he did the same thing with City when he got sent off. He went out there with 15 minutes, got a fucking yellow, hard smash on Haaland. What the fuck did Haaland do the rest of the day? Not a damn thing. What did fucking Leao do the rest of the game? He was pretty much absent after that. After that, it was all Theo Hernandez and Ibrahim, the number 10 that they got. It was them two fuckers dancing around us. And honestly, that's why I'm not upset about it. I still think he has the biggest dick out of anyone out there, because they're all playing like a bunch of little bitches as far as I'm concerned in the defense. Porro is a fucking liability defensively. Yep. He may be great going forward, and he put decent crosses into the box. We weren't seeing any good service from the right until he came in. But the thing is, they're ball sack defensively. Romero knows this. He knows if it's not Dyer, think about it. He already doesn't fucking trust Dyer next to him, but Dyer can't even play. So now he's got Longley playing a little bit out of position, and then Davies and Skip, a little green behind the ears, and Porro, liability. This man, obviously he knows. If you watch the replay, Theo Hernandez on that side, he hit a nice move to where all he had to do was run around Romero. And Romero's direction where he was running, there's no way in hell anyone could ever convince me he could have changed directions 70 degrees and kept up with world-class Theo Hernandez, who I've touted as being part of one of the left-sided duos in the world. And him and Leao, when they're on their game, they're one of the best left sides in the fucking world. And I'm sorry, but when Romero knows he's got Longley back there, and if Theo Hernandez gets around him, that's 2-on-1 on Longley. No one likes that odds, especially when it's Leao and Theo. And honestly, I don't blame him for the tackle. It just sucks. I mean, the whole game, you could argue, I would argue more that I didn't like in between the two yellows, all the fucking little shitty fouls he was giving away to really kind of get the. I mean, think about it. The ref is not trying to send you off. It's not, Big Brother's looking at us and they're, oh, let's punish Spurs right now. It's, you keep doing shit and the ref keep blowing my. If I'm a ref and I keep, hey, don't do easy, calm it down, and I do that in the course of 40 minutes. Eventually, when you do, then you do what he did. Of course, I mean, the ref was trying to not give him an immediate red, so that way he could just give him the second yellow. I mean, he asked for it, but at the same time, he at least showed some fucking balls. And at that time in the game, no one had a sack, and I appreciated it for what it's worth. I know some people are real pissed about it, but I'm not.
I'll even stick up for Longley a bit in the game. He put in a tasty little shove someone over early in the game, which he got away with. I thought it was. I think the commentators who were always wrong. They said, "Oh, it was like both running for the ball." No, Longley came over and barged into him, and I liked that, and I liked that he got away with it. And I thought Longley didn't have that bad a game. In fact, our defence wasn't terrible. It was. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. It wasn't terrible at defending, but when it came to actually playing football and getting things going again, it was shithouse. And Ben Davies was useless, and all went from there. But I thought Longley was okay. Showed a little, maybe, he's gone up in my mind from maybe, 4 inches to maybe 5.5, maybe. Nothing special, but does the job.
Yeah.
Serviceable.
Yeah, there you go. Serviceable. There you go, Brent. That's a nice word. Serviceable.
Built for speed. Guys, no. We could sit here and talk all day about what who should do this, who's doing that, and the way we expect our team to be ran. I do have a quick question for you guys though. And this is part of the whole factory reset. Let's say we do get a Pochettino or somebody that is a 4-2-3-1, a 4-4-2 type manager. Can the formation change? Can we get a better tune out of our players if we're not playing 3 at the back? Because then we're not really relying on 3 defenders. Then you just bring it back to 2 defenders, center backs, and then you have your left wing back, your left back, and your right back, and then you're depending on if you're doing 4-4-2 or. I've always been a fan of the 4-2-3-1, where we can even have Kane slide back to that cam position and put Richarlison up front, or even have Kulu, who supposedly himself has been known to say that he prefers to be in the cam position. I think it'd be nice to see something like that, and I think we could get a better tune out of our players if that was the case. Brent, what do you think? I mean, a 4-4-2, a 4-2-3 run, regardless of how you want to put them, a change at the back, to get at least the reliance of 3 center backs out of the picture, and now we're just relying on 2. Do you think with the squad, the players that we have in this squad, we could see different results if we kind of manage the way they played a little bit better in a better formation?
I think if we do that, we're going back to the not to be a broken record. We've all heard the thing that we've never replaced Eriksen, essentially, which is why in some ways the back 3 we've been playing with, we don't have a lot of the choice because we don't have anybody that can play in that middle role that you were talking about. Except for, strangely, Harry could play it the way he moves the ball. So I do like the idea, actually, especially with him getting older, assuming he stays. Who even knows that's going to fucking happen? But if he were to stay, then yeah, getting Richie or somebody up above him and let him start playing that role, because we don't have anybody that could play that creator role at all. So I mean, the answer is it would require a change in how we're playing him, or we would need to pick somebody up that can play that creative role. Because I can't think of anybody on the squad that really is going to, play that traditional 10 essentially. That's making things
Harry
happen.
Kane should. I think
He'd be great at it. He
likes to drop in those areas. He likes dropping back in those areas and servicing.
And I think it would be tough for defenders too if they're like he's sitting.
Big up to Terry, right? I just want to say what's up.
Yeah.
Big up, gents.
Big up, Terry.
Well, I think if we may look, the main thing is I don't want 5 at the back because you don't need 6 players to try and stop goals going in. It's just a complete waste of football time.
To quote the first president of the United States of America, when we defeated the flag that is behind, actually it was a different flag at the time, but I will say symbolically the flag that is behind Leo, that he's so graciously covered up because I get fucking triggered by it. If I may quote the general who led to the celebration that is the July 4th, 1776 celebration, he said the best form of defense is an attack. And if you're attacking, you have them defending, and you don't need to have the best defense. And if we're all you look at the roster, where are we least deep with any talent whatsoever? The fucking back. And what do? We implore 3 fuckers back there. Let's minimize that. Let's get 2 suitable. If we had fucking Yan and Toby with this team, we might be able to do something. Yan, Toby, and Romero, I would take that as a back there. A prime Yobi Tan.
Well, let me run this by you. Let me run this by you as a 4-4-2 lineup. So you got Foster in goal, left back Ben Davies in the middle. You've got Dyer and Romero, and at right back you've got Emerson Royale. Not perfect. We still need to tweak that a little bit. Midfield, you've got left wing. You've got Destiny. In the middle, you've got a mixture of Højbjerg, Pape Sarr, Bentancur, whoever you like there. Out in the right wing, you've got Porro or Kulusevski, and up front you've got Kane and Son or whatever. That to me sounds like it's a team I can understand for a start, because I cannot understand this 2-man midfield bullshit we play. We get nothing coming out of that. It generates nothing. We're always having to go up the sides, and we've got players who can't even cross the ball.
And we always go up the fucking right-hand side because the left side's so incompetent lately. It's fucking Perisic, and he's done. Since the World Cup, he's been done. And it sucks because, if you would ask me, like by this time, Sessegnon should have come good and been our solid star. No, Sessegnon, he's out of here. Perisic, he might just be in the locker room to be a veteran voice at next season. And I agree. We're not going to have Conte. Let's just put it the way Conte's not going to fucking be here next year. I guess I finally see it. What are
you going to do with that once he leaves? Are you still going to keep it? Or are you going to throw it away? Or are you going to just burn it? What's your plan for that thing?
I don't know yet. It depends how I feel. Right now, I'm fucking mad, and I want to set it on fire and make a little video. Like,
if we're still playing 3 on the back next year, then we need to buy 2 centre backs.
Exactly. But if we're not going to fucking do that, no centre backs.
If we're playing with 2 centre halves, we only need 1. That to me makes sense.
I hate it.
I just want to ask Scott M if the pukey face is because of Jacob's figurine. or yeah. Anyways,
I can see Jacob going into the hospital. Well, I was vacuuming the house while wearing a flimsy robe while I fell on my Antonio Conte bobblehead bottle.
There's this like this joke that I seen, right? And we're well past the 10 minutes, so we could talk about it. There's this guy who calls 911, right? And he's like, "Hey, so my wife and I were taking a shower, and we like to do some crazy stuff. And while push came to shove, I have a bottle of conditioner up there." And then the 911 lady's like, "Oh my God, are you okay? We're sending help on the way." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, it didn't hurt going up, I'm just worried about how it's gonna come out." And then all of a sudden the guy's like, "Oh God, oh God. And she's like, sir, don't worry, help is on this way. He's like, oh God, oh God. And then you hear the bottle hit the floor, right? And he's like, well, it's out now, so I guess thank you.
Wow.
That's what
Is that real or is that like a skit?
Well, let us
Yeah,
know. Is it going to be a real thing when Antonio Conte's gone?
I know a friend of mine used to be a nurse in an emergency department, and she said stories like that are true. You would not believe the variety of things that people shove up their ass and come to the hospital to get pulled out.
All I needed to know was that movie Jackass. When I saw them doing it, I was like, they can't be the only wild bastards shoving race cars and all type of stuff. And then you know, anyone in the hospital field that works, that they'll tell you. Anyone who works in ER will tell you, yeah, most stuff they get is late at night, stuff in the butt, and it's unfortunate, man. It's just like
I didn't mean to open up that can of worms, bro. Scott M said that was his reaction. That was his reaction to any lineup with our players.
Well, you know,
Fair enough, Scott.
We've got to get all this stuff out before you get up to that 1,000 subscribers and you start getting monetized and safe and corporate.
Yeah.
Let's talk about fisting.
Yeah. Okay.
Back to work.
Just yeah.
Back on it.
Phil Coy says he didn't know this until tonight, but Poch was at the stadium Wednesday night. Read into it what you will. I mean, yeah.
No, I love little puppets. I love little puppet. Had to clarify. Interesting. Poch at the game. Poch at the game. Not interesting what y'all were just talking about. So I love that. Big up, little puppet. Yeah. Little puppet was like, no, I'm not just gonna. Because if they would have just said interesting, we could have interpreted that as, oh, maybe we continue this conversation because someone out there cares about it. But they definitely clarified, like, I'm talking about Poch at the game. That's interesting.
Yeah. Big up, little puppet.
Big up, little puppet.
Yeah. Guys, we've been going for
if he was there. Someone would have had a photo of him, right? Sorry, Leo.
No, I mean, he's in London all the time, bro. So I mean, read into it what you will. You know what I mean?
But if he's at the match, you got to imagine everyone snapping photos. I mean, people were singing his name at the end of the match. Maybe that's why they saw him and they were singing for him. Who knows?
Little Pupper says, "Haha, you got me.
I got your back. Yeah, I know you, little Pupper. Come
on." I just want to say, follow us on Instagram at Mile High Hotspur. We are also on Twitter. So we do tweet sometimes. I know Parker's the one that kind of handles all of our social media shit. So that's at Mile High Hotspur. We do have a Patreon page, which is at patreon.com/Mile High Hotspur. There's 3 tiers to that. And I just want to also remind you guys that this is Denver's very own Tottenham Hotspur podcast. That's 5,280 feet above sea level. 5,280 feet is a mile. So, you know, a little bit of a little fancy tidbit there. A lot of people from England and the UK and other parts of the world, they don't know what Mile High why I chose Mile High, right? I know Sava was like Mile High Hotspur. He's like, I don't even want to ask you what you do. And I'm just like, no, Mile High, because, you know, we're a mile high above sea level compared to other places who are at sea level.
Start throwing that in your intro. You know how here's a little intro? You're like, we're the only Tottenham podcast that's 5,000, and you just do what you did. Just say, there you go. Because I knew that because of Denver Broncos. Their stadium is Mile High Stadium. So that's
on my intro, I do. I say we're the only Tottenham Hotspur podcast that's 5,280 feet above sea level. So
I used to work at a gondola in Telluride Mountain Village. There's a gondola that runs from Mountain Village and Telluride. They run. There's like a mountain, and at the very top is where I worked. And there's like a gondola system that runs between the two. Brent, it looks like you know what I'm talking about.
Mile High's got nothing to do with what Parker's up to while he's up to his nuts in Chuff in Vegas.
Is that where he's at?
Yeah, no. He went to Portland, so I thought he was actually going to Mexico, but he went to Portland.
It's a little bit more funky. He's doing the same thing, Paul, just more funky. Portland's a great place. That's a place, if I could, I would definitely live there.
One of my favourite bands comes from Portland, the Dandy Warhols. I'd love to go there someday. Well, I have been to Portland, actually. Yeah.
Big up, Phil.
I lived there.
Big up. Thank you for subbing, brother. That's right, you did, huh? Yeah, that's right. I remember you talking about living out there on the West Coast.
Yeah, I
Is
lived there
that?
for
I mean,
5
that's
years.
considered West Coast, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was telling Parker about Portland Spurs and a little bit about that scene. So yeah.
Dude, I thought, man, Parker, shame on you, bro. You didn't tell me you were going to Portland. I would have, I would have tried to make it. Well, I'm over here already disinviting myself to go with you, but I would have tried to went to go watch the Spurs game with the Portland Spurs. I wonder if he's going to be there over the weekend to be able to watch the game. So that'd be pretty nice,
I would like it. Yeah.
Oh, what a treat! What a treat! Oh, away on holiday. Yeah, I'm going to watch Tottenham. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And get up
If I
early.
was him,
Make
I
sure you
would
wake
just
up bright and early.
Oh, if I was him, I'd skip the game, just go find some jazz bar, sit there with a beret on, do some beat poetry, and get some of those lovely young ladies interested in him, rather than watching the shit show that we've got on offer at the moment.
Yeah, big up Bader. Thank you for
Big up,
joining. He says big up
Bader.
everybody. Thank you for joining our stream, bro. And also the homie Kellum's going over to his girlfriend's house at 2:15 in the morning. So we only know what that means. Without balloons, there's no party. Just remember that much, my homie.
Oh,
Yeah, all right. Without a balloon, there ain't no party, brother. So just be cool, because the world is pretty big, and we do not need any more Kellums running around. I'll just he says it's a winter wonderland.
Yeah, I heard it
It's
snowed in
snowing.
like the northern UK area.
Okay.
London
Nice.
apparently only got rain, but Manchester and above there was snow. We got snow here in El Paso a couple days, well, maybe a week or so ago now. But yeah.
That shit was probably gone like the same day, huh?
Yep. It fell all in the morning. I just remember waking up and I was about to start making breakfast and look out the window. Shit was coming in sideways, and I was like, "Whoa!" Usually when it's dust that's flying around or dirt, because I'm out here in the desert.
That's my main memory of El Paso. Is me and my mate walking up the street downtown. We were both going, "Fuck, man, this is so dusty. It's like we're going to get like mesothelioma just walking around here or something, man."
Yeah, it's the fucking desert, man. You got to be built for it. You know what I'm saying? It's hot as fuck during the days, and it gets cold at night. Like, you can't survive here in the desert, but we as humans built cities here, so
it's brilliant.
It's a really strange thing. I do appreciate it over Dallas, though.
Lil Puppet says it's snowing here too in Milwaukee. Milwaukee, pick up, yeah. I don't know if you don't know the Milwaukee Spurs. I have my Milwaukee Spurs scarf right here, and we have Kyle on all the time. He's a frequent guest of ours, and yeah, so big up to you. If that's why you're here through Kyle, big up to you. It's good to see you here. Milwaukee, that's a fun place to drink beer and eat cheese curds. I'm not gonna lie.
Damn, I'm getting hungry now. You say that now.
Yeah, me too. Well, look, we can start wrapping it up. Brent, do you have any final thoughts about just what we talked about? Anything you wanted to add to any of the situation or the conversation, bro?
Man, I'm just hoping. I don't know. It's so weird. I felt about this bad this season around this time, and then we fucking had a miracle and pulled something out. So, I mean, at this point, hoping for that and just waiting to enjoy that moment where something goes awry from the Gooners. So, yeah, that's all that's left at this point after that shit.
Let me ask you this. If one of the Manchester clubs is going to beat them, are you hopping on the blue train or the red train?
Oh, I fucking hate United. It'd be the blue train all day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Fair enough. Paul, anything else you want to add to this gumbo of conversation we've had, brother?
Yeah, well, as we're approaching the dusk of a season, and it's not been pretty, and I'm just looking forward to a bright new day, new manager, and then we'll see what happens from that. And if we can somehow entice Harry Winks back into the side, I think we're going to have a great year next year.
Yeah. I just seen Jacob just cringe.
Yeah, he's meditating now.
No, we've lost him.
As he said that, my fucking heart just failed. Because I was listening, I was like, yeah, Paul, you're smacking these facts right now. You slap them upside the head. And then you're like, and then you can all go fuck yourselves, is basically what you said at the end.
Yeah, no, one story, one particularly distasteful, maybe bitter story's ending, a new one's about to begin. We'll see what happens then.
Good point. Good point. What about you, my homie?
For me, number one, and my final point, and my first point will always be: if you're watching this, Harry Winks, fuck you.
You.
But also subscribe to Mile High Hotspur. You don't have to subscribe to United Spurs of America if you don't want, but you get brought up on there if you want to come check it out, Mr. Winks. Which also, like, that's such a cheeky kind of last name. You're supposed to like.
I'm sorry, Leo. I'm sorry, man.
God, I hate this man. And like
Oh,
Winks, you gotta have like Winks makes me think of someone like Slick at the bar. They're like sitting at the bar. They're like, "Hey, let me hit you with some of these winks over here." No, he's fucking Winks wanks. I mean, come on. He is. God, he hasn't kicked the ball for us in so long, and the last goal he got for us was, I think, in either FA or Europa Cup or something. He was crossing the ball, and he just fucking hit it wrong, and it went into the net. They do that shit in the MLS.
That's
they do
not
that.
true. They asked him after the game, and he said he meant to do
that
it.
lying
He
ass
meant to
little
do it.
bitch. He probably called Pep Guardiola and said, "Daddy, what do I say? They're asking me questions, Dad." Fucking little bitch. That's my final thought. Fuck you, Harry. You little bitch. Go suck Pep Guardiola's dick. Oh, wait, we wouldn't even sell you. Fuck you, Harry. That's what you get. Not Harry Kane. I love you, Harry Kane. Fuck you, Harry Winks. You little bitch, man. I swear to God, if he wears number 8 next season, I will fly to London and burn all the Harry Winks jerseys in that pro shop. I'm just saying, fuck him. God, it makes me so mad. Winks in, Lo Celso in. God, Lo Celso's next on my shit list. Giovanni Lo Celso. There's a video I'm going to send you, Paul. I have it saved. Brent, I don't have your number. I will happily send it to you. I'll fucking put it on a DVD and send it in the fucking post office to you, Brent. And it's just a compilation of Giovanni Lo Celso fucking doing exactly what Richarlison did against Sheffield. Hit the corner flag when you're not trying to do that at all. Fuck you, Giovanni Lo Celso. Yeah, fuck. That's my other final thought. Fuck you, Giovanni Lo Celso. You and Harry Winks can fuck off to Villarreal. Fuck you both.
You only
Sorry,
get one.
Leo. You asked me to help you with this show. If any,
You wasted it on Winks, bro. So I mean, you can't
I'm sorry, man.
go back
I'm
on
sorry.
your word, bro.
I'm sorry, Leo. He quietened down. I'm sorry. I couldn't help but poke the bear a little bit. I'm sorry.
God, but there's people who defend him, and that's what fucking drives me crazy. Just people who defend him. Those are the only fans I will listen to when people say fans are the problem. Are the people who are like, Winks season 2.0 incoming. I'll send you my address, you bitch. Fight me.
I did the same thing. I went on Jacob's stream with the Harry Winks jersey on like a couple of weeks ago.
No.
He was talking shit about Winks, and I went and put it on and came back onto the stream.
Yeah.
So it's all love.
So you can imagine how that stream went. A lot similar to the past 10 minutes of me talking.
Wait, I think actually that's when we rated Elias's stream, right? I think that's when it was, bro. When you were helping.
Elias, it was
Elias's
stream, yeah.
And then I came on his stream too.
And then you were
still alive, bro. I'm still glad he's still doing the damn thing. Yeah,
that was a good time.
We went on
to
his
Winks.
channel. Winks jersey, Winks jersey. He said, "Yeah,
bro, Scott. He has an England flag, of course. He has an England flag. Of course, he has a Winks jersey. Come on."
Scott M already knows. That's why he said that it was the biggest disappointment since let me see here. Let me pull up his comment right here that he put when we were talking about biggest betrayal since American cheered for England at the World Cup. So
he was saying that Winks that was the biggest betrayal, that Winks liking that tweet was the biggest betrayal since, which is fair. But honestly, pisses me off more because the club doesn't pay Leo. America doesn't pay Leo to support the men's national team and to fucking put on for them. We still currently fucking pay his wages because we couldn't even get his bitch ass out the door.
Well, to be fair, if they paid me, I would support him. So
yeah, if they paid me, I'd say whatever the fuck. But I wouldn't go and like the tweet that's bashing the people who are paying me.
I will not do
I would have to go. My phone's about to run out of battery.
All right, Paul. Thank you for joining, bro. We'll catch you on the next one. You're always invited on whenever you want.
Much love, Paul.
No, thanks, man. Thanks for having me. See you, folks. Bye-bye.
Cheers, lads.
When that phone
Later.
finishes charging, he's about to get a Giovanni Lo Celso video.
You're gonna send it to him so he can load
I'm
it up.
sending it to him right now.
Hey Brent, so for those of you, for those of the viewers that don't know, you are part of Colorado Spurs, and is there anything that Colorado Spurs has been working on? How's the website going? Anything that you could tell us about, Colorado Spurs? Do you anything in the loop that you know that we don't?
I'm not completely in the loop on the newest or whatever. I think it's been a pretty quiet time in general for that. But yeah, I mean, the new website has pretty much been ready for a while. Just haven't like launched it out. And there's a few loose ends on it, but hopefully that's coming out soon. Otherwise, it's been pretty quiet on that front, like on the WhatsApp front for that. So I'm not sure what they have brewing. I imagine just because of the run of form lately that everybody's kind of quietly laying around trying to see what the fuck's going to happen this season. So yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Jacob? What's going on with United Spurs of America? I know you guys stream tomorrow. You and Michael. What's new with you guys? What's in the pipeline? Anything new?
You just reminded me that we got a show tomorrow. I've honestly been yelling on other people's shows, and I did a pop-up yesterday after the match just because I was angry. But yeah, United Spurs of America, we are less than 30 subs away from the 1K. So we are on our way. And then next is Mile High Hotspur right after. But yeah, man, I just think we're gonna have that Friday show. I always say hit them notification bells because you never know when I might be popping up. Typically it's late at night, but I kind of did it earlier in the day because I just actually had the time. That's the whole fun of a pop-up show. You just kind of never know when it happens. So definitely check that out at USofA on Twitter. But I'm gonna try and figure out what the fuck to talk about with Michael because I know he's not happy. As soon as Romero got that red card, he texted me, Michael Brent. In case you didn't know, Michael's the other half of United Spurs of America. So he does the shows on Friday with me. He kind of corrals me and keeps me tame. So whenever Leo invites the tiger out of the fucking cage, and then you start talking about winks, that's just blood in the water, and I'm a piranha, and you shake in the water, and so. But Michael helps keep me locked in, I guess, or I try to not fuck up because I don't want him to like be like, oh, you suck at what? Why do I do this? Actually, wait, he's not on tomorrow. I forgot about that. Oh yeah, I think Kuva's gonna help co-host with me tomorrow.
Okay.
He's not with me, yeah, because his birthday's this weekend. Michael's birthday's coming up.
Okay.
So that
I think Manchester United ruined his birthday last year.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Hopefully he gets a victory this weekend, man.
I think it was a Ronaldo hat trick. When did he?
I think it was the Ronaldo hat trick. Yeah, I remember that.
It was something bad. He was just like, "Wow, great birthday! Thank you so much."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he won't be there tomorrow. So the show might be a little crazy tomorrow. I don't know. Sometimes Fridays when he's not there, they descend into madness. I've had people fucking storm off the show because they're just losing it. Then they come back and they all kiss and make up and everyone's friends, and so it's a lot of fun. Sometimes it's mostly Spurs. I would say 85% Spurs, 15%. Sometimes I just go off on tangents. I often like to say I'm like a squirrel in a forest full of trees, and you quite never know what branch leads to what tree and how I'm going to get there, but I'll find a way.
Yeah, fucking guy. Big up, bro.
This fucking
big
guy.
Up.
That's right.
Fucking guy, big up. Yeah, no. Well, I mean that is how it is, you guys. Phil Coy says, "Big up, lads. Great show, laters." Well, big up to you, Phil Coy. Thank you for subbing, bro. Thank you for participating, and thank you for being here. I know it's late out there for you. Yeah, funny thing, I was in the WhatsApp group yesterday and he had put a comment out, and then I was like, yeah, you're right, bro, like we need to throw the fucking kitchen sink at him. And then he responds back to it. He's like, yeah, you're right, Jacob. I think he must have thought that like my number was your number. So I didn't really say anything, but if you're still watching, Phil Coys, that was actually me. But it's all good. It's all love. But as far as us here at Mile High Hotspur, we're just gonna keep grinding it out and try and have our show on Thursdays like we're doing. Parker is on vacation. I guess he's in Portland. So big up to you, homie. Eat some.
And then he said he's going to
you know,
Mexico next week. So he's going Portland to
next month.
Mexico.
Next month.
Oh,
Yeah,
next month.
he's
Oh,
going.
next month. That's what it was.
Yeah. So no, I mean, doing big things over there. You know what I mean? So yeah, do it up. It's like, but guys, let's hope that we could get a good result this weekend from Nottingham Forest is who we play, right?
Yeah, Forest.
And yeah, let's see if we could change it. I can hear your little boy right now.
I'm sorry about that. I've been trying to mute it, but
No.
I was in a Twitter
homie,
space earlier, and now that's my full-time job is dealing with him. And I was in a Twitter space, and one of the people were like, "You got a bunch of fucking sheep with you? Is that a sheep or a goat? What is that?" And I was like, and it's just him. He's like yelling at his show or whatever. I'm like, "Sorry, that's my son." He's like, "Meh."
He finally make a debut because I seen him last night on the pop-up, bro, playing with the
Bro,
cello.
he got pissed at my wife and ran in here, came in here, and she tried to keep him quiet. He crawling up here, trying to grab the microphone. So eventually I get him down on the ground. Then he goes back there and he plays with the cello a little bit. What a guy. What a guy.
That's funny. Well, one more time, you guys, I'm going to encourage you to go over to Instagram and follow us at Mile High Hotspur, also on Twitter. And if Patreon is one way that you can support the channel, it's scrolling along at the bottom at patreon.com/Mile High Hotspur. We do have 3 different tiers there. Even just, hitting the like and subscribing to our channel helps us out a lot. And so we definitely do appreciate everything. Hey, big up, Leo. Yeah, big up to you guys over there. Congrats on 10K. But yeah, we're just finishing up now. I hope everybody's doing good. Let's look forward to the next game, you guys. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Hey, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Goes. I'll do that shit